talk about all that which needs to be done to try and bring India back on track after the pandemic, and also not only back on track but give a further push in this particular decade to the Indian economy and various sectors. There is a lot of work which needs to be done, and there is a lot which has already been set in motion in terms of revitalizing, reshaping, resetting several aspects, and that is why you're here in this particular show, Reset India. Now for today, for this particular episode, our focus is on manufacturing for growth. Now, manufacturing sector is a very key, very important sector for Indian economy. Now, the focus is on manufacturing for growth. The idea is to make India the global manufacturing hub and a part of the global supply chain as well. What has been done so far on this aspect and what further needs to be done, we will try and understand all these finer points in the next 25 odd minutes. And for more on this, we're joined by a distinguished panel of guests. Let me first introduce them to you, beginning with, we have Mr. Ajay Srivastava is Additional Director General of Foreign Trade in the Ministry of Commerce. We also have with us Ms. Bhairavi Jain, Executive Director, SCA Group of Companies. And we're also joined by Mr. Vinod Sharma, Chairman of CII's Electronics Committee. Welcome all of you to Rajya Sabha Television. And let me also, wish you a very happy New Year on behalf of all my colleagues at Rajya Sabha Television. Let me begin with you, Mr. Srivastava. And let's first start by understanding the scope of the issue here. Let's start by understanding where do we stand as far as manufacturing for exports is concerned.
Thank you. We'll say manufacturing for exports. Manufacturing sector accounts for 70% of our exports. We say the share of GDP, share in GDP of the manufacturing is 16 to 17%, but in exports, it's the most important sector for us, more than 70%. So government has taken a number of steps to increase this share. To understand it in a better way, how, in what direction we have to go, we have to understand how the trade in manufacturing happens, how the world of manufacturing moves. To understand this, we have to divide the world trade in manufacturing into two parts. Say a big basket, where 70% of the items which are traded, manufactured goods, they are kept. These are electronic items, telecom, precision equipments, specialty chemicals, and similar such things. These account for 70% of the world trade in manufacturing. So these are the most important items. So any country which has to do well in these has to focus on these items. So currently, India's share in these items is about 0.7%. India's global share. So we need to focus. These are the items which world is buying. Our share is 0.7%. We have to focus on increasing this.
Okay.
You will notice that in November, Honorable Prime Minister has announced a big scheme, production-linked incentive scheme. The basic idea was to focus on these items through the PLI, production-linked incentive schemes. And the idea was to focus on these items which world is buying in the most value and quantities. So you will see the coverage of that scheme. It covers the pharmaceuticals, telecom and networking products, specialty textile products, not the normal products, but the MMF-based products, then specialized food products, high-efficiency solar PV modules. Our presence was there in all these sectors, but we were not at the high end. So through the introduction of production-linked incentive scheme, Honorable Prime Minister has ensured that in the next few years, we see a lot of manufacturing activity. New manufacturing units will be coming. And before announcing of this incentive, you must have noticed that government was doing quietly a number of reforms for laying the groundwork. So you would have seen that change in the 4 labor codes. We have 4 labor codes, which will make it easier for the large manufacturing units to manage the labors. Second, we have seen the distinct improvement in India's ease of doing business rankings, which shows that our performance on many counts have increased. Third, we see the corporate taxes, the structure for the new manufacturing unit, it's now at par with the best and most competitive in the world. So say the groundwork has been laid, and I see the production link incentive as the top up over all these reforms. and I am very sure the type of queries which we are receiving from the big companies, anchor firms, MNC anchor firms, I'm sure that we'll soon see a lot of manufacturing happening in the country.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, definitely. A lot of policy tweaks, policy changes has happened, as Mr. Srivastava was pointing out. Let's now take the perspective from Ms. Bhairavi Jani as well. Ms. Mijani, from your perspective, what are the key focus areas when we talk about making India a part of the global supply chain and also, the manufacturing hub, the global manufacturing hub?
Thanks, Vishal. I think we have to first understand that the very nature of global supply chains have transformed significantly in the last 2 decades. Today, global supply chains are also a lot about multiple location manufacturing, assembling, value addition, and most importantly, a large part of services go along with manufactured products in ensuring that products reach their final consumer and destination. I think India has a huge opportunity in this, considering that we have a vast base available, both in services already and in technology. We only have to take the necessary steps, and of course the government has begun the process already to create conducive environment for large-scale manufacturing. One big part of large-scale manufacturing to operate seamlessly is to allow components to come in and leave in a particular cluster area, not just within the country, but from outside of the country as well. The customs of late have implemented a faceless system, but yet we have a lot more road to travel in digitizing our EXIM processes. Today, almost 30 signatures are required on an export shipment. I think as we move closer to complete digitization, these signatures must significantly be minimized for us to make this a very efficient and effective process, both from a time perspective as well as from money perspective. Thirdly, the most important part is to also understand that we are a huge consumption market as well. And therefore, the throughput of supply chain in terms of ships coming in and material going out will determine whether our exports, for example, have the requisite line all available to take the material out. And so when we think of manufacturing, we must also think of auxiliary supply chain that surrounds it for it to be a completely successful endeavor.
Okay, indeed, it has to have an all-round aspect out there, as Ms. Jani is pointing out. I'd like to now bring in Mr. Vinod Sharma here, Chairman of CII's Electronics Committee. And Mr. Sharma, all of us know, and as Mr. Srivastava was also pointing out, electronics is one sector which needs to be focused upon when we are talking about increasing India's share in the global manufacturing aspect and making it global manufacturing hub there as well. It's 0.7%, as Mr. Srivastava was pointing out. We need to take it further up. So from your perspective, what needs to be done there, and the present policies or the present schemes which are there, for example the PLI scheme as well, how beneficial they have been so far?
Good afternoon, Vishal. Thank you very much for having me here. A very happy New Year to all of you and to all our viewers. I think it augurs very well that on the first day of the year, we are talking about reset in manufacturing for exports. As Mr. Srivastava very rightly pointed out, while we are at 0.7% of the world, of the demand, as an individual businessman and as chairman of the National Committee for Electronics at CII, I see absolutely no reason why we cannot aim at a fourfold growth, going close to 3% of the world GDP or our contribution out of manufactured exports within the next 4 to 5 years. And I think a lot is happening. But before I go to that, we need to understand when we manufacture for export anywhere in the world, it is a positive statement of our competitiveness, of our global competitiveness in that sector. The reason we haven't done so well in the past, and definitely even in the last 4 or 5 years, in spite of great efforts by the government of India in terms of policy, in terms of bringing in the infrastructure, is because I think a lot of pieces of that puzzle are only coming together. Bhairavi just mentioned supply chain. Specifically in our sector in electronics, you cannot get anything right. So China, our neighbor, has been over the last 20 years been able to get the most robust supply chain in the world together. And all the success we've seen that they've had in the last 2-3 decades in the world markets is a result of that. So I'm very happy on the one hand that a lot of our policy, our logistical frameworks, the digital infrastructure that we have built, the spaceless assessment, ease of doing business. So lots of these items on the checklist are now getting ticked. In the next 2-3 years, I think we will begin to see the results, whether it's energy, the cost of electricity, logistics, etc. What we don't have in place, unfortunately, yet, and for a change, I would say that we as businessmen have much more to do now than the government, which is in having very clear-cut, sector-wise export strategies for the next 5 years, not for just 1 or 2 years. Unfortunately, with the way we think through MEIS or RODTEP or incentive schemes is a very short-term way of thinking. And why I say that is, if you want to make a significant impact in the global markets, you cannot do that by just selling your surplus manufactured products into the export market. We need to strategize, we need to invest into supply chains that are designed for export. Coming to the electronic sector, I'm very happy that we made a great progress in the last 5 years. We've had a CAGR of over 23%. Having said that, but 5-6 years ago, and even today, we are a net importer. We are, in fact, even today, the second largest contributor to trade deficit in this country. And I'm very happy that you mentioned the PLI scheme. Now, the PLI is nothing but, first, it's an acknowledgement by the government and us in the industry that we have to mitigate some disabilities, some cost factors because of which we were not there. Just one last point. I know I've taken a little too long on this first introductory discussion. Let's look, what should be our dollar to rupee exchange rate? I think we need to have a clear-cut strategy of where we want it to be, in what band. I know you cannot give a real figure for us to be able to plan and export plan our exports for the next 4 to 5 years.
Okay.
So, I hope that the foreign trade policy, and, Mr. Srivastava, of course, a lot to do with that, will aim at also items like that so that all of us as manufacturers and as exporters have a clear roadmap together with the government.
Okay. Those are very important and very significant points raised by Mr. Sharma there. Let me go back to Mr. Ajay Srivastava. Mr. Srivastava, on two aspects. One, the foreign trade policy, as Mr. Sharma was pointing out, and the another point which both Ms. Bhairavi and Mr. Sharma referred to, that's the supply chain management. It's the core specific area, the focus area. If you talk about any sector, be it electronics or the other sectors as well, when you look at manufacturing for exports, this is where the real crux is.
Yes, Vishal. So I would like to thank both Bhairavi and Vinodji for raising this issue. I say, to understand GVC, we have to understand it's a ticking clock. GVC is not normal export-import operations. Here, a component moves from one country to another country for getting converted into a sub-assembly, and then maybe 200 more movements across the countries take place before a thing like iPhone is finally assembled in China. So suppose